All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important jobs in modern medicine, figuring out how to get artificial intelligence out of the lab and into our hospitals. And to do that, we're going to follow the journey of the person who actually makes it all happen, the AI consultant. Let's just start with this idea from Dr. Po Hao Chen, because it really gets to the heart of everything. The big takeaway here is that this is not some sci-fi movie where the robots take over. Nope. It's about creating a powerful partnership, a team, right? A human AI team that can do so much more than either one could on their own. For what feels like forever, AI in medicine was just, stuff you'd see in the movies. But that's over. It's not a someday concept anymore. It's a right now tool that's being used every single day. And the potential here, it's just huge. Imagine an AI that acts as a tireless second pair of eyes for a radiologist. It can scan thousands of images, day in and day out, and it never gets tired, never needs a coffee break. It spots those super subtle early signs of disease that a human, even a brilliant one, might miss at the end of a long shift. This is really happening, helping us catch things like cancer and strokes way earlier and more reliably than ever. Okay, and this isn't just about medicine. You gotta follow the money. We're talking about a market projected to be worth $188 billion. That is not a small number. That kind of investment tells you this isn't some flash in the pan. This is a fundamental seismic shift in the business of healthcare. It's here to stay.
And it's not just one thing, right? AI is popping up everywhere. We're seeing it in diagnostics for sure, but also in creating treatments tailored specifically to your DNA. It's even speeding up how we discover new drugs. It's really transforming the entire medical toolkit.
Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. So this all sounds amazing, but how do you actually take this incredible cutting-edge tech and plug it into a real, live, chaotic hospital without everything falling apart? How do you bridge that gap? And that's where this very specific role comes in, the healthcare AI consultant. Honestly, the best way to think about them is as a translator. This is someone who can speak fluent geek with the developers and then turn right around and speak fluent doctor and nurse with the folks on the front lines. A consultant doesn't just walk in with a bunch of good ideas. They show up with a whole digital toolkit. You can see it here. Platforms to crunch the data, tools to actually build and integrate the AI, and then, and this is absolutely critical, the software to make sure all that sensitive patient data stays locked down tight, following all the rules. So put yourself in their shoes. It's day one. You walk into the hospital. What do? Well, you start mapping the territory. You're meeting with the big bosses, sure, but then, and this is the real secret sauce, you're going to the floors. You're talking to the nurses, the radiologist, asking, hey, what's the most frustrating part of your day? What slows you down? That's where you find the gold. So that first day is really just the tip of the iceberg. All that information gathering quickly explodes into a full-blown strategy. The first month is just this intense sprint to diagnose the hospital's unique problems and then draw up a concrete blueprint for making a change. And it's not random. There's a real method to the madness. Week 1, all about people and goals. Week 2, you're digging into how things actually get done day to day. Week 3, you get your hands dirty with the tech and the data. And then by week 4, bam, you've got a real plan, complete with a few quick wins to get everybody excited and on board. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. This isn't just theory. Look at this tangible checklist for just one department, radiology, in just the first week. You see how it's not only tech stuff, it's meet the department head, get legal to sign off. Every single one of these little boxes has to get ticked, because if even one is missed, the whole project can grind to a halt. So, you've got the plan, you've got the checklists. You'd think the hard part's over, right? Nope. Now comes the really tricky part. The people, the human element. Which leads to a pretty obvious question, doesn't it? If this AI stuff is so amazing, why isn't it in every single hospital already? Well, the truth is, just because a technology is powerful doesn't mean it's easy. In fact, sometimes that very power is what creates a whole new set of problems. And look at these hurdles. They're not about code. They're about us. Things like data privacy, the very real risk of bias baked into the algorithms, and just good old-fashioned human resistance to change. But that last one, the black box problem, that's a huge one. How do you convince a doctor to trust a decision from a machine when the machine can't explain why it made that decision? So, to crack that nut, to solve that big trust problem, the whole field is moving towards something called explainable AI, or XAI. Think of it as the direct answer to that scary black box. And this right here shows you everything you need to know. A black box AI on the left, it just spits out an answer, yes or no. But an explainable AI on the right, it shows its work. It might actually highlight the exact tiny cluster of pixels on an X-ray that made it think cancer. It's like a nutrition label for an algorithm. It tells the doctor exactly what went into the decision so they can actually trust it. So where is all this headed? What's the real end game? It's not just about installing some fancy new software. It's about fundamentally redesigning that partnership between humans and machines to make healthcare better for all of us. And this quote from Dr. Lara Jahai just nails it. The future isn't about machines taking over. It's about using them to process these enormous amounts of health data that are just impossible for any human to analyze alone. It's about making sure no clue, no pattern, no tiny piece of the puzzle gets left behind. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. As this incredible technology gives us a crystal clear view of all the data, how do we make absolutely sure we never, ever lose sight of the patient behind it all?